Hey! Stop staring at that sister of battle, or you'll come to regret it. Women on the battlefield, you say? Don't they teach you anything at the Schola anymore? The order of the Adepta Sororitas is 5,000 years old by now. Yes, they weren't around during the heresy. Those women are stone-cold killers. The ecclesiarchy was forbidden from maintaining an army after they abused that right. Heresy? Oh, if I'll ever hear you talk about this conversation, I call it that and execute you on the spot. Anyways, not being allowed to have men under arms of course leaves a loophole, and I think you've understood it by now. Not that there aren't any more peaceful sisters, but you'll rarely find those in a hellhole like the here. So keep your eyes on the enemy and save your sleazy lines for the other soldiers. We have women too, you know. Hi, it's Tacticus, and today we're inspecting the newest campaign event, the Sisters of Battle 1. For those still confused by the nomenclature, they are named after the enemy faction, as you get the opportunity to farm their characters and materials there. If you're a beginner and want to learn about campaign events in general first, have a look here. You'll be first able to choose it on the 19th of March and will pilot the World Eaters with help from the Black Legion. There's not that many Chaos factions, which means that most will pull double duty somewhere, but having a campaign faction as a helper is fantastic, as most players have them leveled already, and the World Eaters were helpers for the AdMech campaign event, so you might have leveled 1 or 2 as well already. And oh, Karn is good in multiple modes, so upgrading him for this event is good anyways. Why care about campaign events at any rate? They start just before hero release events, and because of the rarity caps on your fighters, you will encounter more difficult battles, and more skulls means more points. Learn more about hero release events here. And while the normal side of a campaign event has the same farming rates as mirror campaigns, so subpar for everything but uncommon upgrades, where they have the same ratio as elite campaigns, the extremist side of the coin is the most effective option to farm uncommon upgrades, with the other stuff being close to elite campaigns. You know, for hero releases we are often counting battles, and having a good option for 6 energy means more battles for pretty much the same farming rate. Why would you choose this event? You can farm materials for the Sisters of Battle, which can be useful for beginners using Vindicta as a reliable ally for all 3 Imperial regular campaigns, which is also needed for the Death Guard campaign event. You will also get the chance to unlock all Sororitas characters. This is mainly interesting for Isabella, who now has a reliable way to be farmed as one of the best healers in game that can passively ensure the health of your turtles in long modes and resurrect a character once per battle, helping you get all medal rewards in campaigns. The progress chests contain Celestine and Morven shards, both quite nice in legendary events for their often needed traits. Roswitha has largely fallen off, and Vindicta, well, you have her anyways. Finally, you can play for Imperial Aquilas in the last extremist battle. We've had those before, but if you'd rather fight the Sisters than the AdMech, this is your campaign. Powerful players, still missing an Ardent Plate, can get it too as the gold reward of the last battle. There's no new gameplay mechanics this time, but you're playing on an ice planet, so there's bound to be the occasional broken ice hex, stopping your movement otherwise and leaving a water hex after leaving it, which could meaningfully hinder your ability to get the all-important lightning victory. Before I discuss the enemies and which fighters to use, why not subscribe to my channel so we can reach the 5,000 subscriber milestone soon. Feel also free to use my referral code BAD60edu for 100 Blackstone for you and support me in game doing so. First off, here's a list of the enemies and rewards per battle. There's no battle with more than 12 enemies and not a lot of special ones that could help us for home screen events, so you're choosing this event for its rewards only. You'd expect most enemies here to be Sisters of Battle, but there's only 2 available NPCs you might know from the Exorcist incursion. They have help from the wider Imperium. Among those, ranged Acadian guardsmen and their fellow soldiers. All Acadians have the battle fatigue trait, so killing their allies next to them can make them flee. Treating the basic guardsmen as collateral and hoping that they'll flee can help you thin the ranks. The Voxcasters should be more of a priority, if they summon another guardsman every single round and can quickly swarm you. And of course, get out of their smoke where they summon a Valkyrie strike. Mortar teams and las cannon teams consist of 2 people each, meaning you will need at least 2 hits to defeat them. They also sport the emplacement trait, which makes them really suboptimal in melee, but deal 50% more range damage if they haven't moved. Las cannons have a range of 4, an atypical 60% pierce ratio, and Overwatch. Due to their enhanced damage if not moving, either don't run into their Overwatch or try to catch it with a very bulky character. Mortars, finally, are even more annoying with a range of 5 and indirect fire, meaning they don't even need a line of sight. They'll get you and suppress you, and up to 3 characters around the initial target will also be hit. Only Terminators can't be suppressed. In battles with a lot of weapon teams and Voxcasters, rushing the enemy position is important, as otherwise they'll slow you down and swarm you. The sisters themselves all have a base crit chance, and the Act of Faith faction trait increases it by 10%, and the damage even by 25% for every time an Imperial unit is killed or kills an enemy. This can snowball quickly, as every sister has their own counter, and that means we want to kill the sisters first optimally, so their allies can't boost their crits, neither by dying or actually doing something useful. This will be a bit of a conflict of interest depending on enemy lineup, as you don't want the Voxcasters to drown you in bodies. The basic battle sisters have a low pierce on both their attacks and only a range of 2, so need this boost to do meaningful damage. The Zephyrim are more elite, starting in Deep Strike. Their move of 4 and flying trait means they'll often get the jump on you with their power attacks. Thankfully, we have the Danger Zone feature to see where they can go. In the first 2 rounds, they also deal extra damage and can block damage. I'd still rather kill them early to avoid heavier damage build-up. Lastly, there's Engineers. They don't really fit. There's only 1 extremist battle with 4 of them, while normally there's a max of 3 of the priests around. They excel with more mechanical units near them, as they get a buff every time an adjacent mechanical unit gets defeated and can repair, prompting them to give their stack of buffs to the beneficiary. Those will probably only become a real problem in the Morven Vaal battle. Lastly, the boss battle is Celestine. I know, not a guild raid boss. She has the Exorcist to help her out though, and sports the boss trait of Immune, ignoring debuffs and hex effects. Comparing her first appearance to her normal profile at that rarity, she has almost 9 times the health, but her attack and armor are just a little lower than for the normal character equivalent. What do we look for in characters? Being able to reach enemies fast is an advantage here to deal with the guardsmen. We will face some summons and plenty of enemies in general, so abilities that allow us to kill multiple at once are optimal. And as mentioned, flying and unstoppable characters work better on ice hexes, and Terminators help to face the suppressing mortars. We need to bring Rask, Asgore and Tavak. It might not seem immediately inspiring to most, but for the World Eaters it could have been worse. Of course, we're not going to need a legendary Incarn, and I'm happy we don't have to take the notoriously frail Mesa with us. All World Eaters have the Blessings of Khorne trait, making them deal 3% more damage for each unit defeated in melee this battle, including yours, for a maximum of 24% more damage. Useful and a fun mirror of the Sisters trait. Rask I'm actually excited about. His Deep Strike allows him to set up close to the enemy. He's unstoppable, can take some punishment as a Terminator, and his active can see him fell multiple enemies. When he drops out of his Deep Strike, he'll summon a shield around all adjacent allies and himself, and he'll do the same when killing an enemy. This means Move your fighters forward turn 1, keep a space for Rask in the middle and drop him in. Then, whenever possible, kill with him first when adjacent to friends. You don't have a healer here. His bloody shield is the only extra health you'll get, so use it to maximum effect. Giving a shield can, for example, be a good way to catch a stray Overwatch shot from a last cannon, and dropping him in their range sees the shield vanish first. Be careful though, shields don't have armor and deplete quite fast. Ascor is tough. I'm going to give him that. He's also unstoppable and melee attacks affect him less. He can taunt adjacent enemies for a round, building up his passive's extra damage he gets for each time he's hit. Using the active can keep enemies from using their actives, and will also reduce range damage against him for a turn. It's quite useful. As a demon, he also has a block, depending on his attack, and gaining Mordred through his passive makes him even more resilient. He also gives half his buff to adjacent chaos units, making especially Rask deadlier. The two are a good team, as you'd rather build up rage by a shield going away than depleting his finite health. Tavak is the last mandatory character. His rapid assault makes him reach enemies faster early, and his passive means that he deals more damage against enemies at low health. For every unit he defeats, he gets a higher crit chance. Fast, all but guaranteeing it. He's more of a finisher against high health enemies really, as otherwise he'll just kill one per round and only has one hit, making Ascor's buff not apply to him as well and making him struggle against weapon teams. I mean, once he's there they won't do much, but it's a bit comical. Once per game, his active either does massive damage to a single target, or if he's surrounded he can hit all adjacent enemies for a one-time horde clear. Our first other option is Macer, who can once kill multiple enemies, but is otherwise just not resilient enough without a healer. Ironic, he has the resilient trait. But higher damage, the more damage he takes, is a little risky in this format. It's a D from me. Khan, however, has okay bulk, does massive damage and regularly kills a lot of enemies. Just be careful he doesn't turn on you. An A, considering his other applications. The Black Legion brings Angrax, a Terminator punishing enemies for moving away, who can kill multiple enemies once and can be in the enemy's face via deep strike. Enemies want to shoot here mostly, using him effectively can turn out great, but he's a little slow. B. Falk is quite good since his update, but he's outranged by both weapon teams. As he can stay back, so everyone can get a shield from Rask turn 1 and his range still allows him to attack, he also gets a B. Akimatos is strange here. I love him. Summons are a fantastic asset. I would just advise to use them primarily after the sisters are dead, otherwise the Bloodletters will give them the chance to build up their crits, and with that caveat and his relative frailty, it's a C. Feel free to discuss in the comments. Harken could be a surprise hit with how fast he is, and a good chance to remove a lot of Militarum characters with his active in one attack. Just a bit too frail, but still a B from me. Abaddon, lastly, is great of course. Not being able to use his relic most of the time might be a shame, but the option of a limited self-heal and to attack multiple enemies a turn, flexibility with his bolter and buffing powers make him as excellent for me here as in any other mode. Another A. Nearly no bad options here, but the ones I deem best are legendary characters not everyone will have. My team will be the mandatories plus Abaddon and Karn, but if you don't have those, I'd go with Falk for the range and Akimatos since, if carefully used, his summons are still helping enough. Especially as the Bloodletters help build the power of Khorne. They profit from it themselves, they profit from the buffers we need to take anyway, and finally, they could be more resilient with Rust's shield if playing consciously. That's the Sisters event for you. It has no unique gameplay mechanics like the Death Guard one, and shares its mythic upgrade with the Mechanicus campaign. The unlockable characters are also not too interesting depending on what you concentrate on, apart from the excellent Isabella. The materials could be interesting, especially for new players though, that can use them to effectively upgrade their early Imperial characters. A lot of veteran players will have units built for this anyways. Beginners will often at least have some Black Legion, so it's a good starting point for your campaign event journey. I'd still prefer normal campaigns honestly. This at least gives me a fix of a bit of story interjected into my gameplay I otherwise lack. It's new, and the one-time rewards never hurt. It's not like I don't have a use for more common materials either. Let me know what you think of this campaign event in the comments. Thanks for your attention and continued support, and watch some more of my videos on screen. I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day.